All right, the Lakers hired JJ Redick. I have no idea how it's going to go. Of course, nobody knows how it's going to go. We've never seen Redick coach a team. It's fair to be skeptical because he's going right into the head coaching chair, and it's going to be for the Lakers and just all the pressure that comes with that and all the noise of being the coach for LeBron's team. Not the first time a guy has gone right to head coaching, won't be the last. And yeah, podcast with LeBron, all that. 4 years with LeBron being 39 years old. LeBron's got the player option. We all assume he's coming back to the Lakers on a new deal. For last year's Lakers, who were a 47-win team, the biggest thing for me was when Darvin Ham just found the lineup of D'Lo, Reeves, and Rui around LeBron and AD. They had a net rating of +5. But it took him a while to get there. Of course, D'Lo and Reeves both had stretches coming off the bench as well, which was just weird. There was, of course, the infamous Taurean Prince saga of how many minutes is Darvin Ham playing Taurean Prince, and it was like the funniest running joke among Laker fans, although it probably wasn't that funny to them. I mean, Taurean's cool, but there were times where he was playing like mid to high 30s. And then another thing with the Lakers last year, even as they did figure out their lineup stuff, was their tendency to go in and out of more set offense, even if it was like a LeBron AD pick and roll, but it was more of a, we are deliberately running this action, and maybe we're going to run a little handoff action beforehand to get the defense moving, and then we're going to go into it, as opposed to like we're going to dribble around for 7 seconds, we don't know what to do, all right, I guess we'll run a screen action. And then within that, of course, you're hoping for consistency from D'Lo, which in the regular season is like obviously better than the playoffs have been. Reeves is good, LeBron and AD are still great. As far as roster additions, I mean, everybody's the point of attack defender. That was like the number one thing talked about all the time throughout this year. And sure, Vanderbilt obviously missed a good amount of time, and having him back, which I'm assuming is going to be the case for next season, will help them out defensively. And of course, Vincent also did not play much of the season either. Interesting thing too is that at the last leg of the regular season, when their lineup stuff was finally figured out, they took a few more threes per game, which I think is good because they're usually hovering around like 31, 32. You'd like to get a little closer to like 35 a game. But I do think adding a shooter this offseason would be cool. You could say that for a lot of teams, to be fair. And yeah, I know that they draw a lot of fouls and they score inside a lot and all that, but I also think getting to 35 threes a game on a good percentage while still being able to do those things because of LeBron and AD, I think that'd be ideal. For JJ specifically, I mean, look, if you've seen the podcast, obviously the guy understands spacing and play calling and sets, and his relationship with LeBron is good, all that stuff. And I do think his coverage of the league would show that he's got a good understanding of players' strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, all that stuff. The little things of, is AD dropping back on screens more? Is he a little higher up on actions compared to how it's been the past couple years? Because, I mean, as we all know, whatever defensive scheme you want to run, more aggressive, more safe, AD can do all of it really well. Will they try to get Reeves or D'Lo moving a little bit more off ball? Will they hammer home set actions on offense more often? Like, all that stuff we will see in time. As far as managing players, as far as telling guys you got to play this many minutes as opposed to this, as far as telling somebody like D'Lo, and what is the temperature on Laker fans? Do they want D'Lo out or what? Because it seems to change every couple of months. Usually it's when the playoffs are over, they now want him gone. But anyway, telling D'Lo, hey, you are going to be running this many actions per game and this many times you're standing in the corner watching LeBron do whatever, which, it's LeBron. It makes sense. And before D'Lo gets traded in 2 weeks and this whole little thing doesn't matter. The balance of LeBron's screen actions up top versus AD just getting the ball in the post for face-ups or somebody setting some off-ball screen for AD to where he can get good position in the post before getting the ball. All that stuff we will see in time. The other thing, too, as simple as it sounds, is JJ's got to be ready to be the coach of the Lakers, and especially a coach of a LeBron team. I mean, I just looked up one of Darvin Ham's quotes from last year. This was in the middle of January. He said, after they lost a game, "I'm tired of people living and dying with every game we play." Sorry, bro, you were the coach of the Lakers. That's how it goes. As far as his potential candidates for his assistants, again, candidates, these are not final. You've got Scott Brooks. Look, I understand that those OKC years where OKC's offense just sometimes got too heavy into Russ or KD, please just bail us out of this possession going nowhere, kind of stained everybody's opinion on Scott Brooks. And then the Wizards years, I mean, the rosters were okay around Beal and Wall. And then Wall got hurt, and then they just didn't have a chance after that. Defensively, those teams were never that great. Like, I don't know, Scott Brooks is Scott Brooks, man. There is Rondo, who's similar to Redick. It would be his first time coaching in the NBA like that. But obviously we know Rondo is very, very smart. Everybody has had only nice things to say about Jared Dudley, where he was playing in his past few years, and just his input on the bench was huge. I remember that in Brooklyn. I remember that with the Lakers. And obviously he's been the assistant coach with the Mavericks for the past couple of seasons. I should have led off with that one. Then you got Sam Cassell of the NBA champion Boston Celtics. Of course, he's been an assistant coach for a while now. Yeah, obviously having experience around JJ would be huge, and we'll just see. Again, those are candidates, not final. The Lakers won 47 games, and like I said, they had some pretty real lineup problems in the middle of the season where nobody liked what Darvin Ham was doing. So if you don't have any of that weirdness, and if you just get lucky with health, you hopefully may have a more smooth regular season. So yeah, but of course the West is super competitive. We see what happens to them every time they play the Nuggets. And so I think step one is just have a good regular season. Have the least rocky regular season that you've had in a couple of years, because the last 2 regular seasons, they've had to drag themselves out of a hole that they dug themselves in earlier in the year. And of course, 2 years ago, they turned it into a pretty fun playoff run before they ran into Denver, but like, you don't want to have to keep doing that year after year. So yeah, I mean, given how good the West is and given how the last couple regular seasons have gone for the Lakers, I think goal number 1 is like avoid the play-in tournament. And so this past season, Phoenix, they were the 6th seed at 49 wins, and Dallas was number 5 at 50. As far as potential move stuff, I don't know. There was the DeJounte noise around the deadline. Obviously, it did not happen. There's not a whole lot of noise right now, but that could change in a matter of days. Not that I think DeJounte Murray would drastically change my projections of the Lakers for this upcoming season. The last thing is I do wonder if Max Christie or Hood Schifino are going to be getting more minutes like that. I mean, Christie has had some minutes in the rotation in his career so far. The hope with Christie is that he can just be a solid 2-way role player. Hood Schifino wants to run more offense, as in running screen actions, getting into his pull-up too and everything, and that's just a little tougher to fit in when you've already got LeBron and D'Lo and Reeves, right? Also, Cam Reddish is here.